Welcome to OZChris versus Marvel Comics for week 1 of July. We have 4 reviews. We have Aero number 1 and Savage Avengers number 3. So starting off with the rookie, the new addition to Marvel, Aero number 1. This is the official English translation of the Chinese exclusive Marvel comic Aero. So written by Zhao Liefan, artist by Kang, adaptation by Greg Pak. So I'm assuming Pack translated it. I don't know. It says adaptation. But then there's the additional story by Aero and Wave Origins and Destinies, written by Greg Pak, art by Pop Mahan, and coloring by Federico Blee. The cover is by the interior artist Kang. So Aero number 1 follows the story of Lei Ling. Follows the story of Lei Ling as she's attacking what used to be buildings that she helped create. Something is turning these buildings into giant golem-like monsters, and it feels personal to her. As I said, she helped design them, helped build them to be homes for families to keep them warm and safe, and somebody's using them to cause destruction. So it is a very personal issue to her. What she created is used for destruction instead of safety, and is endangering the people that she's supposed to protect. And while this is going on, we also get flashbacks to a little bit of her life working as an architect. I believe she's an architect, but the main part of this story is the whole building golem monsters, and something else is starting to arrive as well. So that was the main story, and on to the secondary story, which is a origin for Wave, a character that was introduced in the New Agents of Atlas miniseries for War of the Realms. So you find out a little bit about her origin. She was tested on by some scientists, given these aquatic water-based powers, but when the lab that she is in is attacked, she realizes that she actually wasn't there for good reasons. The scientists were actually the bad guys, and the people that she was actually attacking were the good guys, which were the Triumph Division, which she later joins. But at the start of the story, she's kicked out because of the events of War of the Realms. Instead of staying where she was and protecting her location, she went off to help the New Agents of Atlas. So she's getting reprimanded for doing that. Despite the fact she had good intentions, she's getting reprimanded by the rest of Triumph Division, and who want to retake all of her belongings and have kicked her out. So the main story of Aero, the Chinese comic, I'll give it a 3.5. There's an interesting premise there. It doesn't, not particularly a lot happens. It mainly focuses on the story. You don't get particularly a lot from Lei Ling. It's mainly narrated. You don't get a lot of dialogue from her or any other character. It's the actual dialogue itself is minimal, but and it's mostly narrated. But there's an interesting premise there, so I'll see how it goes. The art by Kang, I'm going to give a 4 out of 5. I really, really like this art style. It's what caught my attention. It's very, if you can see, it's very clearly manga, anime inspired, but it's sleeker. Like, when I first found out about this, I said, it's very light novel-esque. It's a very sleek, almost, there's a lot of emphasis on the detail and the action. It's much sleeker than typical Japanese manga style or anime style, with how they're drawn. So, but I really like the art style. The art style is definitely the best part in this comic. The cover, I'm mostly going to give a 4 out of 5. Same artist for the interior, so what you're getting on the cover is what you're getting inside. Really like the art style and the coloring on the cover. That's what also caught my attention. Pretty much the art and the coloring caught my attention for Aero. The story's interesting, but it could have been a better start. I'm going to see how the second issue goes. It's at least interesting. The second story by Greg Pak to show Wave's origin, I'm going to give that a 3 out of 5. It was okay. It wasn't particularly that interesting. The art and the coloring, I'm going to give a 3 out of 5. I'm not particularly a big fan on the art, but I did like the coloring. So that was Aero. On to Savage Avengers number 3, written by Greg Dugan, art by Mike Deodato Jr., coloring by Frank Martin, the cover by David Finch and Frank Diamata. So Punisher finally joins the fight, searching for his family, and he meets with Elektra, who also finally decides to actually join the main series. She's been on the cover for issue number 1, and she was in the Free Comic Book Day Savage Avengers portion of that Free Comic Book Day comic. Free Comic Book Day Avengers, it was called. So she had yet to actually appear in this main series, despite the fact she's on the cover for issue number 1 and is supposed to be a member of the Savage Avengers. So that's hilarious that she doesn't even appear until like the 3rd issue. So she meets with the Punisher. They team up, and mainly to help Frank, and to also not give what the followers of Cool and Garth want, which is the blood of warriors, one of which is being Wolverine at the moment, and given his regenerative abilities, they believe, we could just use you to summon our god. And eventually, pretty much everyone arrives together to stop the summoning of Cool and Garth. There's a lot of good action moments in this comic, and Conan tries to reason with them for the lives of Wolverine, Punisher, etc., giving them the amulet that they want, but it doesn't 100% work. Conan gets injured, but he is saved by Venom in the end, and I'll leave it there. Story, I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. Above average, almost good. I enjoyed the action that was in this comic. This is really what it is. It's a good action comic, and it succeeded in that part. Story progressed the story well. So it's an above average, almost good comic. I just enjoyed it for what it was. Just action. The art and the coloring, I'm going to give a 4 out of 5. I really like the art and coloring, especially here with the Punisher and Elektra parts. For some reason, that was like my favorite part. My favorite part of when in regards to art and coloring. I think also towards the end, when all of the Savage Avengers eventually get together to stop the ritual to summoning an evil god. Really like the art and coloring there. The cover itself, I'm going to give a 3.5. I like the art and the coloring. This is something that does actually happen in the comic itself, so it's not false advertising. Conan is slightly bonded to Venom, while Venom bonds to Conan to save him. And, his arm is covered with the symbiote, and so is his sword. So it is something that happens in the comic, but I'm not a big fan of the background. I think the background is a bit bland. All of this, good. That's great. But I wish there was a bit more with the background. Maybe, something within the actual series, or something a bit more. I wanted more from the background. Like, the art and coloring is good. It's just the background it's a bit too simple. But I enjoyed Savage Avengers regardless. So that is it for those two. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time.